What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of JAMARR Chase's most creative route running. So we're going to be taking a look at three separate routes here where he gives a very creative release, a very creative move at the top of the route that gets him a lot of separation. So we're going to break down how you guys can add this to your game, what his thought process might be in this situation, just how you guys can improve. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to improve your press release game, you want to learn over 20 different press releases, check out that very first link in the description below for a 50-minute long video we have on 20 different press releases, when to use each press release, and then drills with sets, reps, and an example to work on each one. So again, fellas, all that information is located in that very first link in the description below. Let's get started with this video. So first things first here, we're looking at this like 10-yard speed out from JAMARR Chase. Now, he's got an inside shade coverage DB who's about 2 to 3 yards off. So naturally, what his pre-snap plan probably is here, what I would teach on a pre-snap plan, is that you want to attack this DB's leverage, force him to keep his leverage to the inside because that's where he doesn't want to go, and then I would work back up and break back on this out route. I would want to try to work to restack. That's always my number one goal. Now, since he's inside shade, we can probably guarantee that if I attack him, he's probably not going to backpedal. He's probably not going to shade to the outside. He'll probably just keep his leverage. But sometimes a DB might. Sometimes a DB might give me the inside release because maybe he's trying to guess the route. Maybe he's trying to be predictable, especially when we're lined up on the bottom of the numbers. So that is what ends up happening. So let's play this thing full speed. So Chase attacks his leverage, DB sits, gives him the inside release. So we just got to take the inside release. We have to take what the DB gives me. This is a perfect example of how wide receiver releases are sometimes about reacting. So Chase goes to square him up here, right? If this DB keeps his leverage to the inside and doesn't want to sit there and give him the inside release or shade to the outside, which is what he ends up doing, then that's fine. I could take the outside release, no problem. I could run an out route in this situation. Wide receivers, I'm saying. Wide receivers can run an out route from either an outside release or an inside release. You have to get comfortable with that. You have to take what this DB gives you. So when you attack a DB's leverage and he shades to the outside, it does us no good trying to force the outside release. Because if he's shading to the outside, you take the outside release, he's going to get right on your hip and squeeze you to that sideline. You won't have any space to be able to run this route. So we take the inside release, take what he gives me. I square him up, he doesn't bite, I take the inside release. Now my number one goal right here should be always to restack, whether it's an outside release or whether it's an inside release. My goal is to get him trailing my back hip, so I could use a fake like a rocker step, like a hip shift to the outside where I really throw and sell like I'm running a post to get him off. When he's watching that back hip and you throw your hip to the inside, give a little fake there, it is very, very tough for him to stop that, especially when you're lined up on the bottom of the numbers because he's already probably expecting an inside breaking route. So that's a great job there by Chase doing that move and then breaking back up over the top. Now, some of you might ask me, and some of you probably have coaches that say this, oh, you want to take the outside release because what if you take the inside release and this DB doesn't let you restack? What if he's hip to hip with you? You got to make sure that you have a plan for that. Going into a route, you never want to be thinking, oh, I'm going to throw him by at the top of the break, unless he's like an off coverage. But if he takes it away, if he takes away your route, he doesn't let you restack, you got to have a plan for that. You got to be able to react. That's why receiver is one of those positions, very similar to DB, how a lot of the things that you do are reactionary based. They're a reaction off of the look that the DB gives you. So if he were to burst up on this route and take the inside release, and let's say this DB played it a little bit better and was up here where I drew this line, then Chase could just throw by with his left arm, throw by with his left arm, throw by with his left arm, swat him by, and slip back underneath. And it's easy money, fellas, because we can just react. But we have to get a free release in order to be able to do this. This DB can't reroute me all the way to the inside of the field. He can't reroute me all the way to the sideline. I have to stay on that straight line to set myself up at the top of the route. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. This is a great job by Chase, attacking leverage, seeing that the DB shades outside, and taking that inside release to create some space. All right, so now this route here is going to be kind of like a post dig, if you will, but it's just a great example of having a high route IQ and just being able to threaten DB where we know he's not going to be. So he's running this dig, like I said. So he's running this route. He's running this. He sells like he's running a post route, breaks this thing back, and gets a lot of separation on this guy. This is a very, very creative route. So when you guys are here and you have inside shade off man coverage, right? Or maybe it might be even a little bit of a zone variation, but inside shade off man. How would you run a post? You would definitely not square him up and attack his leverage, right? Because if you attack his leverage like so, chances are, what is he going to do? probably keep his leverage. So when you go to run that post, you're going to run right into him. And we're trying to make it look like a post. So what you would want to do is you'd want to attack his outside shoulder, get his hips to flip, and then we could break back underneath. But threaten him to where he's got all that space that he needs to cover. So you threaten that outside shoulder like Chase does. You get that DB to open up his hips. So now when you break back underneath, you create something called a blind spot. Now, again, this is not he's not thinking about all this right now when he's running the route. This is something that he's determined beforehand. This is something that he's ran before, that he's repped before. This playing receiver is so much about playing fast and being efficient. You can't think about all these things, because if you think about all these things, you're going to play slow. You can't overthink at this position. It's all repetition based. But I break it down so you guys understand the reason why and can try to apply this to your own game. So we attack that outside shoulder. We get his hips to flip. You break back underneath, but he hits this like 1-2 break, threatening that blind spot like he's maybe running like a post out and he's breaking this thing into a dig. He breaks here 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost like faking a post out. That is a textbook break right there, because that really threatens that DB's blind spot. He overcommitted. He sped turn out of there, and we're threatening him back to the out. So that is a very, very creative route. That is just kind of building off of a post out. You break to the post, 3 steps, head fake back out, and then run back and run this deeper dig. So let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. That's just the IQ behind this. So if you guys are a team, fellas, that like to run a lot of post corners, like to run a lot of post outs, some people call it a martini route, or you guys are teams that like to run a lot of maybe like deeper whip concept routes, like kind of where you're pivoting out, this is a great route to do when you're running a dig, especially like a backside dig. You break to the post, take 3 steps, right, left, and you give that head fake back to that DB's blind spot. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job breaking to the post, making it look the exact same, and threatening that DB on that post corner. All right, so now last route I want to talk about here from Chase, and I think he is very, very good at this. I think he's very good at being able to sell a double move route, being able to drop his hips, being able to sit into a break and create separation. You see this all the time from him, especially in college, especially at LSU, and a lot of people equate this like, oh, he's just faster than the DB. It's not the case. He's very, very good at selling this route, and let's talk about why. So when he runs this route, it's going to be like a little hitch and go, and I want you to see how he actually sits into the break. This is what so many wide receivers do not do. They do not know how to get separation at this break point. Whenever a wide receiver runs a stutter go, like it's a quick stutter go, a full hitch and go, a comeback and go, they always try to rush it because they're so anxious to get up into the route. You got to understand that QB is not necessarily waiting for you to make that break, but he's not going to throw it too early. He's going to let you drop, get some separation, and then get it off. And as long as you're accelerating after the move, you got plenty of time. Let's take the time to actually sell this route. So what a lot of wide receivers will do is that they won't actually drop their hips like Chase does. They won't change levels, as I like to say. They'll run up into this break and they'll just chop their feet, chop their hands. They'll just, quick hands, quick feet. That doesn't do anything. You got to actually change levels, because what's a DB supposed to be watching in man coverage? He's supposed to be watching your hips. So if you actually change levels with your hips, if you actually drop your hips, what do you think that DB is going to do? He's going to be more likely to expect a break because you change levels, and that's how you would run a regular hitch, a regular stop, a regular comeback. You would change levels with those hips. Now, the main key that a lot of wide receivers will do is they'll change levels, but they don't keep their head down for the first couple steps. They'll change levels like this, get the DB to bite, and trust me, he knows he got beat as soon as he sees you accelerate, but then they start to look back too early. And when you start to look back too early, all that's going to do is slow you down. Keep your head down. You got separation. Let's gain separation. And let's not look back till we have him by about a step or two. Now, this is another element of Chase's game that we can't ignore, and that's his hands and his ability to make these great catches. So some of you ask a lot of questions sometimes about how do I win these like 50-50 ball catches? And Chase displays textbook what you want to do. You want to make sure that you go up for that ball strong, and when you secure that ball, you rip it away. You see how he's ripping this ball over his head? You want to secure it and then use either your helmet ripping it behind your head or your body ripping it like away from yourself as a shield between this defender. You want to put the ball between you want to put your body or your head, whatever it is, between the defender and the ball. You want to rip that thing away and secure that thing so we can haul in that catch. And that is textbook right there from Chase. So from top to bottom, great route. Great job sitting into it. Great job actually changing levels to get the DB to stop. Kept his head down, accelerated, and then finished with that 50-50 catch. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Chase sitting down, getting the DB to sit down, accelerating, and winning that jump ball catch by going up strong and ripping that ball away. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like a 50-minute long video on 20 different press releases, when to use each release, and then drills to work on each one, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you guys on that 50-minute video. I'll see you guys next time.